Would you be okay if I read it to you?
Yes. I'm just having 1 year on, so I have some effects.
Okay. That's an incredible. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let ChatGPT read it. Is that all right?
Yep.
I'll read my bits in between.
That's an incredible fusion. You're envisioning a world with Skyrim's deep lore, open world exploration, and mythic character arcs. Final Fantasy's high fantasy tech, epic scale summons, and party-driven drama. Age of Empires 2's strategic empire building and resource-based conquest. Sword Art Online's digital immersion, skill trees, and tiered world structure. Let's sketch what a unified setting or game might look like under that influence. Titled Echoes of the Dragon, a mythic immersive fantasy where gods fall, empires rise, and players shape destiny across realms both physical and digital. Core premise: in a shattered world where Tamriel was sundered by the cry of the dragon god, reality fractured into tiered realms, each a simulation of the old world, maintained by forgotten new tech. Players log into a system called the Throat, a divine architecture MMO where each server is a living kingdom, and characters aren't just avatars, they're reincarnations. World structure: the realms, inspired by SAO's floors. 13 massive realms stacked in a divine tower, each themed after a mythic age of Tamriel. Realm 1, Dawnforge, dwarven tech ruins, ancient automatons. Realm 4, soul-carrying Dominion, necromancer lords, ghost empires. Realm 9, Stormrest, North-Japanese fusion hosts, Stormblade monasteries. Realm 13, Dragonhold Prime, throat of the world suspended in stars. Each realm functions like an AoE2 map. Build cities, train units, control key points for power-ups and resources. Players can lead factions, form alliances or guild nations, and command armies as your units. Combat and class system: Skyrim's Final Fantasy. Class trees are open, but you choose a mythic lineage. Dogoborn, Master House, Airborne Duels, Dragon Kinship, Etherblade, mixes FF-style magic tech and swordplay. Warden of the Hold, summoner class that raises armies in battle. Echomind, can pause reality and rewrite pieces of history. Limited time-based power. Skill levels matter, like in Skyrim, but you gain style-based combos, like SAOF, and summon allies or weapons like Aeon's Espers. Empire building, Age of Empires core. As a realm lord, you control settlements that evolve from huts to citadels. Resource control, Ether, Mithril, Memory Dust, Daedric Essence. Guild wars over Elder Relics. Siege battles with magic war beasts, dragons, and classic siege equipment. Think unit control hero combat plus real-time tactical commands during open world or instanced fights. Narrative and immersion, SAO is Skyrim style. Your character is logged in permanently. Death is rare, but dying pulls you into a lower realm with harsh consequences. Guild leaders can rewrite history of their realm if they find all the echo shards. NPCs have deep memory systems. They remember betrayals, loves, oaths. The final realm allows you to ascend as a god and merge your realm with reality, risking a global war across all shards of existence. Would you want this as a game concept, mod series, or a novel visual narrative? I can help flesh it out for any of those. Or do you want it integrated into your Thalruk and Otama mythos? Because we could say all of this is the next age after Skyrim's world is digitized by NVIDIA echoes.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
That's fair. But
Emphasis is on the second syllable.
you.
I don't know. Do you?
This is the fucking kind of joke that only a goddamn linguistics nerd can make. I love you.
Yeah.
You're the fucking best. Oh.
Like when you were trying to get me to listen, and I just leaned into you and said, I'm listening! I'm listening!
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Those niche jokes where it's like, I know you understand enough nautical reference to make a listic joke. And I know you understand enough linguistic shit to make those kinds of jokes. And it's just like, oh god, you're perfect. I love you. I love it so much.
What?
This little black thing on the floor underneath the chair was bugging me because I didn't know what it was.
A little knobby off the chair.
Yeah, it's just a little plastic plug for the end of one of the pipes. Now we place things. Alright, so then I said, I love it. Yes, that, all that. With Thalric and Patema being the final boss, if you want to play my world and still come away thinking that you should kill Thalric and Patema, then yeah, you can crown yourself Emperor. But you're going to do it with their vindication staring you in the face and their love bold as brass. Like, because I've worked it to the point where, A, her rising wasn't even fucking necromantic. I got gods of the world fucking back, you know? And then used like dragon souls and shit. So like, not a like, in form, it looked like necromancy, but like, with the backing of like 3 or 4 gods, dragon souls and, you know, such like that, not to mention gilding the altar at $1 million gold, like, it gained, in my opinion, a rather holy cast. So if you take this story and you play it and you still come away thinking you should kill, you know, the orc who raised the Necromancer Queen or some shit because he refused to read any of the lore, then yeah, sure, you can kill them and become emperor yourself. That'll be the end game thing. You can do that. But I intend to make this as fucking in your face as the fucking Civil War was in Skyrim, where every time they pass a guard, they say something about it. You know? Or at least it's like one of the 5 lines that they use.
I agree.
You know? So anyway, you're going to have to choose to kill their love and the promise of peace and a peaceful transition and a better future than Tamriel has had in quite some time. It will lead to a golden age if you play to support them. But if you play to rip apart their alliances, destroy their army, and slay their heirs, then yeah, sure, you can be emperor. So then, this is what GPT gave me next.
We should mess with the printer soon.
Okay.
I found the pattern for the cutest toilet paper roll holders. So they're like the Serta sheet, and you just like shove the plastic pieces through the hole, and then it gives them a little like sheet head and legs. So then the toilet paper rolls look like a little Serta sheet.
Nice.
It's adorable.
Yeah, I want to figure out, do we have any washers or anything?
Washers?
Yeah, well,
Like metal washers?
yeah, ideally metal washers.
We can fix them up. But
It would be hard, but they're like, well...
Never mind. At this point, it's sounding easy. At this point, it would be easier to, instead of go and buy washers, cut chunks of cardboard to the correct thickness. Because what I want to do is I'll find a pattern for it, but I have to find out where exactly the stupid sensor thing is.
Yeah.
That needs to be shipped, and honestly, let's just get rid of this resin too, probably.
Okay.
well, you could pick a project that you don't care if it gets messed up on and try the resin on it.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I would do.
Well, the thing is, at some point, if you want to do it before I'm done with work or anything, I want to get the build plate completely cleaned off and so there's no resin on it.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna because we'll want to take the tank out for the auto leveling. And I want to see if it somehow works that way, or if it still flips out. And then I need to find pictures online of exactly where this weird spacer goes. So we'll get some cardboard to temporarily do it so that I can print the actual part.
Okay.
Because as it is now, the way it's like trying to push way too far down
Yeah.
and giving us elephant's feet. Yeah. But yes, there's a manual leveling thing. Whoops. Cancel. I'm not ready to actually manually level, sir.
Right. Like, no.
But yeah, we could do that, because I was just thinking of a different war game that we should also probably play that you might like, Battletech.
Wow.
You ever played, or not even video games?
My video game experience.
That's right, I keep forgetting how Baptist he was and how he just didn't have video games until we went to the Marines.
It's kind of like
It's like, hey, didn't you play this?
his
That
access
literally all.
was about like my access,
Okay.
which was through other people with that.
I was going to say, you have much better access.
I mean,
my
I
external
did
access
because
was
of
pretty
you,
much
but
Halo and a little bit of COD.
Was what?
Pretty much Halo and a little bit of COD.
I
Yeah.
had exposure to a lot, but actual access typically were on your systems.
That's fair, and they were also in
I
my
had
room.
to get mom to take me off of them so I could play.
That's fair.
My most social games were Age of Empires. And like I wasn't even playing online, that was strictly LAN,
Oh, okay.
you know. And it was with other kids from the church. Because they could shove us all in the computer room and trusted we would be good for hours. So
Honestly, yeah. Parents should have been all about video games for much longer.
right? Yeah, and
It's like, hey, I'm inside. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that too. It's like, well, I'm inside and learning fucking history.
Right?
Because I'm playing Civilization, so I know that you need to invent the wheel
Right.
and like fucking pottery
Right?
and a whole bunch of other stuff before you get even close to gunpowder.
Right?
I played Doom and Duke Nukem.
I never got to play Doom.
Oh my God,
I've
that's-
seen enough of it to like know what it is and all
I
that.
remember we had it, and then like Chex Quest came out, and there's been people that have like mentioned that game on podcasts. I'm like, oh my god, somebody else remembers it.
Yeah, somebody else remembers Chex Quest. I remember when I started it
'Cause
up, I'm like, wait,
Doom
this is
platform.
Doom.
Yo.
All it was a reskin of Doom with custom WADs
Yeah.
because they just made their own maps for it. They made their. It was basically, it would be the modern equivalent of a total conversion for a game. Like,
But like you had to like destroy these booger monsters.
Yeah.
So like they made it for like.
yeah. Oh, it was kid friendly. There was no blood
'Cause
or
I was-
demons.
Because I'm over here. Fuck, this is just Doom, but for little kids.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Doom. Says the little kid.
So you know how Doom runs on like anything?
Yeah.
Okay. You know your theory that maybe the Catholic Church actually is sealing rifts into hell or some shit?
Oh, yeah, if like the supernatural was actually real.
Yeah.
No, I was just talking about that movie that I know for a fact probably took heavy liberties because I don't know if the church has ever actually identified any of the physical places that the angels supposedly fell. And yeah, the angels, which I guess you could refer to as greater demons, yeah, there's only 200. I forget where in the Bible exactly. I don't know where exactly in the Bible that is, but that's the fun bits with the Catholic Church. Sometimes someone makes something up, and they write it down, and well, sometimes it gets added to canon and dogma.
Maybe they read the Key of Solomon.
Well, no, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Some dude in the Middle Ages writes Bible fan fiction like the Key of Solomon, and the church just goes, yeah, Wait, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I
That's how
guess,
it
you know,
works.
that was part of the movie, you know, supposedly 200 angels, you know,
Okay.
fell to earth, and then Father Amort and the local priest had to battle Asmodeus, so I'm like, okay, you guys should have died.
Right, right.
Because, yeah, Asmodeus isn't just one of the fallen angels, he's one of the three kings of hell. Supposedly, and I'm pretty sure this is another Catholic thing, there's almost all demonology things came from the Catholic Church first.
No.
Yay,
Because of
Catholicism.
age, and it was pre-Protestant, a lot of this, before, you know, Christianity really started splintering. It was already splintered with the Eastern Church, but whatever. Yeah. They wanted their own pope that they call the patriarch or whatever.
Okay.
That's the difference between Eastern Orthodox and Catholics. But there's also Greek Orthodox and there's Russian Orthodox, which is different from Eastern Orthodox. But the difference between Orthodox and the Roman Catholic Church, I believe, was like their stance on having a pope, and possibly that the pope speaks with divine power. That's probably one of their. That's a lot of people's issue with the Catholic Church, is that the Pope acts as the Pope speaks with the voice of God on earth.
Okay.
People have issues with that,
Yeah.
which is fine, especially when it was fucking Palpatine,
Right.
the only Pope to ever resign. I mean, in modern times.
Yeah.
Like that one Pope that got outed as trans when she got pregnant. Whoops, the Pope's pregnant. How'd this happen?
Divine intervention.
Boy, a lot of things are wrong with this picture.
Aren't you guys all about immaculate conception? Kind of your thing.
Or the one Pope that exhumed his predecessor and put him on trial, and then answered for the corpse, basically.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was a fun movie with Russell Crowe.
So hang on. No. Yeah. The Pope is one of the popes is canonically a necromancer. Because he literally exhumed and raised, like he exhumed the body in a ritual fashion,
Point.
and he interrogated, which implies that he called forth the spirit of said remains.
Yeah, I don't think it was taken that way nearly at all.
Well,
But
of
yeah,
course not, but
yeah,
yeah.
very, very closely. Yeah, it's like, this is starting to look a lot like a bit of necromancy. Yeah, it's like we're literally bothering the corpse of a holy man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you stop shy of actually bringing him back.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you've done. You were still fucking with the dead.
Can you imagine how weird the D&D spell, or just fantasy spell to speak with dead must be? You know, just randomly, you're just randomly in the afterlife, like a doorway pops up to the real world and stuff. You just poke your head in, and you're seeing your corpse again. You're like, oh, yeah, okay, questions, all right.
Right? Just
Fuck?
Sure, whatever.
alright.
Make it snappy. I want to go back.
Yeah.
Alright, like, alright, what do you want to know?
This is not the state I left it in.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
It's like, this is an untenable position. What do you want?
Oh, gross.
Right? It's like, no. Let me go back.
Make it quick, this is nasty.
Right?
This is really close to necromancy. Make it snappy.
Right? It's like, yeah.
But yeah, another game that we should play because sci-fi is cool. You should just go to YouTube and look up BattleTech and see this wonderful world that has existed for over 40 years that you don't know about. It's a shit ton of
one thing Kenny loves to explore.
Yeah, no, it's 40 years that they've been building this game. And I think you'd like it because it's, a fucking horror game with giant robots.
That does sound awesome.
And I'm pretty sure it's still played on a hex grid, which is...
Okay.
I found many patterns to turn those.
What?
So that I found many patterns to turn different things for hex grids.
I love hex versus.
Yeah, because I have no idea what the current set of the rules and everything look like because I've never technically played it. But I have played I have something like 400 hours in the battle type game on PC.
Is that anything like Warzone? There was it was an old PC game.
Look it up. It's entirely possible because there were plenty of maybe not plenty, but there were definitely knockoffs in the 90s.
So with this one, you were part of, you got to choose your country or whatever, but you were part of a interstellar force that was scouring the solar system for these weird bits of metal that they were kind of like a biometal. So, like, the more of that you collected, the bigger you could make your little base, and, like, the more ships and mechs and things like that you could turn out. You were individually, like, a person, a pilot kind of thing, and you could run around and get into just about any of these pieces of equipment. And when you were in one of those pieces of equipment, you had different abilities based off of what that piece of equipment could do, or up to, like, a command structure for, like, little fleets of those units.
Yeah, I have to look it up.
But yeah, that's one of the only other games I played.
But it would be a fun adventure game because science fiction and stuff.
Yeah.
And robots. Because they're based on the classes are basically based on how much the fucking thing weighs.
Okay.
So again, since I've never actually played a tabletop game and just about the video games and like the battle type game, you can honestly see how much it is right now and gift that one as well because it's really good. And it's probably based on at least what the rules were currently at that time. And so you play on Hex because spacing matters.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's less armor on your back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the reactor, closer to where the reactor is.
Yeah.
So there's like armor settings for, let's see, I think you have flanks, or at least you have sides, front, back, center, front, back, cockpit, legs, arms, and then the components on those.
Nice.
So, yeah, so it's entirely possible that you, like, I'll lose an arm or something, and, well, those weapons are gone.
So, okay.
But, yeah, there's a whole thing. It's basically the time period the game plays is after the human empire is sort of crumbled and gone back to futuristic feudalism.
Okay.
Until so yeah, humans used to have a single empire called the Star League and everything, and pretty sure there's a fun little explanation of it in the opening movie for Battletech. But so it fractures, and there's large noble houses, and it basically functions like feudalism or Japan and everything. And what eventually happens, depending on the time period, but around I think 3028, humans that left the inner sphere centuries ago come back with far superior technology. Not far superior, but superior enough that I think, at least in some of the stories or lore, the inner sphere adopts a ceasefire to try and combat the clans that are coming back. And then yeah, there's several different great houses for the clans, because they absolutely embraced feudalism and much closer to like a Japanese feudalism. So yeah, they call themselves clans and everything.
Okay.
So yeah, it's based around the mechs and everything, but in the universe there's still, and I don't know if you actually play with, I don't know if it's not game or not, but you know, like tanks, helicopters, and jets are all still things, but most people walk around in the giant bipedal tank. Since it's not a robot, since it won't move on its own, it has to be piloted. So it's technically a bipedal tank.
Okay.
Powered by fusion reactors, but seriously, there's no practical reason for a giant-ass war machine to ever exist.
No, other than fear and intimidation factors.
Yeah, other than the rule of cool, it's just too easy
Like
to
the
take.
Moab.
Yeah.
I would say that's
The
still more
bird
practical.
shits out a giant.
It's still more practical than a mech.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing a mech's really good for, if you really think about it, is terrorism.
Yeah.
All it's actually good for is war crimes, because yeah, it'll clear a city by stepping on it and literally raising it with large fucking weapons.
Yeah.
900 kills.
Like, fucking Moabs would be just one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, shit like that. Like, did you ever see Evangelion?
Heard of it.
The anime?
It's
Okay.
an anime.
Yeah, the anime.
Okay.
I
think it's on
think
the
I've had
watch
it.
lists.
I've had it in my watch list before.
It's old, but it's definitely, well, it's old now, but it's definitely classic 90s. I think it came out, like, I think it first aired in like 96, but I didn't buy the collection on DVD until like 2002. Yeah, I got Warcraft 3 and Evangelion and GameStop.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah.
remember going to the shopping mall and like getting in a review. We only had a few bits. Meanwhile, my friend Jean had like full series, like multiples.
Yeah, well.
And I was like, she has money because anime is expensive.
Yes, it was expensive when you would buy each, VHS at $20 or $30
Yeah,
because importing.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jean was she was the weird child.
Also, both her parents worked for the labs, so she had.
Well, I'm pretty yeah.
And
so
then
that's-
she was an only child.
That was the other thing. She was an only child. Pretty sure both her parents had PhDs. And yeah, that was the weird thing to us as children because her parents weren't married. Honestly, at this point,
They
I'm
had
like,
different last names.
I think it was that they were common law married. They were smart. They were actually did paperwork. At least I'm pretty sure that's what Mom explained to me.
I never actually knew.
But yeah, the point is, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they weren't married. They were just common law married.
So, does my second marriage count?
I don't know.
Does it count to you?
He almost raised
Bad.
kids.
Meh.
Do any of them count if you're not in them anymore?
Meh.
Like, does it really matter now? They're not bothering me.
That was an unfortunate expansion pack to this game.
That one that I can't uninstall, but is there.
Yeah.
Wild cards.
Random 4 out of 10 would not buy again.
Yes, seriously.
Fucking,
Like, there were parts of it that were fun, but yeah, I wouldn't do it again.
yeah. Like, listen, I learned a few lessons and I grew as a person. I would choose a different way to do it if I could.
Yeah.
I would read a book.
Right?
I would read a book.
If that would do it,
I would go to
I
class.
would give me the
I would
list.
do homework if I didn't have to do that.
Give me the list. I'm happy to learn. I don't need to learn like that. But I learned those lessons. So,
Here we are.
Maybe Pam licks his paws all the time because he learned it from cats. You ever seen those dogs that have been raised by cats?
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
like I saw like this, it was either a pit bull terrier or like fucking cane corso, and all its legs tucked under it and it's sitting next to the cat. And it like licks its paw, and tries to rub its face. Like, oh man.
I saw a husky doing a sugar loaf thing up on top of a cat tree, staring out the window like a cat.
That is awesome. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's up there. This is fun.
Right? It was like,
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I can see better this way.
right?
Fuck yeah.
At its finest, an emotional, philosophical, strategic endgame where power isn't just strength, but moral clarity and legacy. You're not just fighting enemies, you're fighting visions of the future. Let's crystallize this.
So yeah, I'm
Final
going to go
round,
down
Dragon Ball
to
Prime.
the war game store at Bend again. So I'm pretty sure I saw a copy of the Battletech rules there.
Okay.
And especially since it's, I'm, at least that's what I've seen several places on Reddit, just looking at, I was doing searches for printers for minis, and then also fixing what it does now, and stuff, but Battletech's supposed to be mini agnostic, meaning, yeah, if you actually went to some sort of organized sanctioned tournament, yeah, if you had stuff you printed yourself, no one would bat an eye.
I like that.
Yeah, mini agnostic's nice.
Yeah.
And honestly, the place where that I bought all the Trench Crusade stuff, I mean, I still want to play that too, but now I want to play with robots. And honestly, all it costs at this point is resin and files, so after spending $35 on that one miniature at the Games Workshop store, and I bought the files for an entire army for Trench Crusade. For getting an entire army of files is like $70.
Yeah.
And then a kilogram of resin that would print everything you need for several orbit for like you and 8 friends.
Yeah.
You would print it all for so yeah, for your one army, you've spent maybe. Well, I guess getting into the game's a little expensive because the printer and the wash station and stuff is like $600.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's still actually cheaper than trying to play Warhammer.
Yeah.
I mean, if any of the models you want to buy are even in stock, is the crazy thing. The companies, I don't know what the hell they're doing, but yeah, especially after experiencing their store, it's like, oh yeah, no, I should totally get that. Oh, it's out of stock. Oh, okay. Well, this thing I was looking at last week is now out of stock. What the hell? Right. And it's basically, well, what the fuck happened to Games Workshop in the past 20 years?
Fucking weird shit.
I'm pretty sure my answer is the last 20 years happened. The company got bigger and got all sorts of super popular games out now.
And poured themselves out to anything and everything they could.
Yeah, I don't know. Those British guys are bonkers because they went all fucking in on that FOMO thing.
Yeah.
Which seems to be how their store works. It's like, oh no, everything's limited edition. It's like, well, I don't want to play your games. Right?
No.
Yes, I'll still have fond memories of Warhammer and stuff. But, yeah, right now Games Workshop is batshit crazy. So things we have to do this weekend is buy Emily a lawn. Where do you want to go to get a bong, Emily?
Is it a birthday ball?
I mean, it was just a bond because you broke yours, but sure.
Well, I guess it depends on what the budget for the ball is. Because if it's just one because I broke it, I mean, I replaced the down stem on this one which was originally one that I got for myself, so I don't need a ball anymore. if it's a birthday bong and there's a budget, then I would totally go to the smoke shop in Prineville.
There's a...
Headbangers?
Oh, yeah, Headbangers is in Prineville.
Yeah.
But,
No, I totally forgot Headbangers is in Prineville, yeah. So I was like, what? Yeah, yeah, no, the bike, yeah, it's like $100. We can get $100 worth of bond for you. So, I mean, you can get it.
that's what the gorgeous cloud one was. So that's what the gorgeous one that was like pink and white and clouds and like super gorgeous that I've been eyeballing.
Okay. Yeah, oh, and he only takes cash, so I'll send you money to get cash out from an ATM.
That works.
Man, we should do that before we go to Prineville. Go to the fucking ATM in Prineville.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, here we can just go through like the Wells Fargo drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one thing I was not cool with in Illinois. There's literally no Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
In that entire metro area.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
I
it's so
remember
weird.
that one to go.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So I spend a lot on ATM fees to buy drugs.
Yeah, in Montana, I think it is, there's like no Bank of America. Anywhere. Which really sucks because it's the card that I've been given by my little company, my freaking in-laws basically. It was Bank of America and they had no other means of getting any money. And I was stuck there needing tired shit done, so I could not move. And it's like, all right, well, this is fun.
Yeah, that's
I'll be here this loves until we figure this one out. Because I've got nothing to do the things that need to be done to do anything else.
Yeah, well, we can spend up to $100 to get your new bomb.
Thank you. You can call it a birthday present. It's close
Yeah, you
enough.
can call it a birthday bomb.
I will, because I feel bad getting a new bomb for like $100 just because I had broken mine.
Well, too bad. Now you're the object of my irresponsible spending.
Okay. Thank you. At least I appreciate and show excessive gratitude for it.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to deal with the estate when I have
That's a future me problem.
Yeah. I hope mom and dad's living trust is pretty straightforward. Because that certainly don't have energy. And that stupid stuff.
Right?
But yeah, unless they've changed their mind, I'm apparently still executor.
Oh, I haven't even heard mention of anything ever related to that ever.
Well, roughly
In
10
my
years,
life.
roughly 10 years ago, you were supposed to be there for Christmas so that we could divide mom and dad's possessions. I'm like, awesome. Not sure I wanted to do that for Christmas, but okay. And then you didn't, so it didn't happen.
Well, no one ever told me I was supposed to be there for Christmas for any reason. So.
Yeah, well, they certainly weren't going to tell you because it's completely dependent on what the government tells you can or cannot do.
What year was that?
2015, you were definitely still in. It's like 15, 16, I don't know. About 10 years ago.
It was 15, I probably did Christmas with Fuckface. It was 16, and I was in Korea. Yeah. Over there. Whoops. Yeah, so they've never ever mentioned anything to that to me ever, so.
That's fine.
Which, you know, figures. That's kind of how they roll.
Yeah,
Let's
because
not
they
tell
at
you
least,
anything.
they at least on some level instinctively know that you're flakier, slightly.
But they never inform me of anything until it's like she's trying to protect me by keeping me out of the loop and like in the dark on things or something.
That or the eldest child is supposed to handle things. So.
One of those.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not terribly broken up about it because it's not something I want to do. Like, oh, thank God, Peter's responsible.
Yeah, see, their boomers not necessarily raised, or at least definitely Mom was not raised by the greatest generation, but the silent generation.
Yep. That checks.
So yeah, a lot of those toxic older things just kept kind of just rolling downhill. So yeah, just sort of
like being a passive-aggressive martyr, like
the completely unspoken assumption that as the eldest child, I will obviously take care of anything important upon their dad. Oh, okay.
oh. I feel like this should have been a discussion with the family, but okay.
I don't as much. It's their decision to decide who handles shit when they die.
It's true.
It's not really something we have to be included on.
Also true. Again, I have zero complaints.
I mean, did you really want legal responsibility and authority?
Nope.
Well, there you go. Although I hope things are very well defined, because I don't want to have an argument with like Chris or Aaron. It's like, what do you mean you want Dad's money? It's like, well, he was never there for us. Well, trust me, you didn't want it. I had to live with him. I get it. I get it all. I have to live with him. I get it all.
Was it really a loss?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't think you guys have to figure this out. And you miss out on some financial support, I guess. I mean, I remember we had to move because your mom demanded more child support.
I was too young to know that.
Yeah.
I remember being like barely 3 and hanging up my clothes in the closet.
Yeah, we had to move to a smaller house.
But I remember one tiny flash memory from the previous one where it was like just out the front door and we had that little red tricycle that we were messing around with.
Yeah, you got a tricycle because I got a bike. Well, you got to use my tricycle because I got a bike.
Well, that's just kind of how it worked was, oh, Peter's getting new stuff. Yes, like hand-me-downs. Do we include winter jackets?
Yes, sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, kids' jackets are pretty unisex, so.
The ones that she got for us were unisex to begin with anyway, so.
Well, she bought those Hello Bean ones.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly lasted longer than it took us to grow out of them.
We never had any of like the cool Spanish jackets.
Yeah.
I remember when I got my first Hello Bean, it was my color that I got to pick out that wasn't hand-me-down. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, that's when you were big enough that you weren't growing out of it in a few weeks.
You were saying the kids who took care of spoiled shit?
Oh, yeah. They like sure it was hand-me-down situation, but like they all got new shit all the time. I knew it.
We had new stuff bought for us.
Yeah.
I mean, like obviously Emily never wore hand-me-down clothes from me aside from like jackets.
Yeah.
No, because Mom tried to dress me as like a frilly girl for as long as she could.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, that was
Like she was half the reason I hated going to church. The clothes were fucking awful and uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, until all our cousins were born, we were literally the only girl that had been born in generations, so.
And I hated dresses.
I always used to love suits.
I think Victor would wear a suit.
Really?
He did. I told her to count like numerous times that I would rather wear a suit than a dress. And she shoved me in this like fucking thing she made that was like meant for a 6-year-old, but I was in 6th grade and felt horribly embarrassed every time I had to wear it. Admittedly, it was well made. Very well done. Adorable for what it was. I detested it.
Oh my god, it's pain. My legs are so wet now. Chill.
This is mimic game design at its finest, an emotional, philosophical, strategic entity where power isn't just strength, but moral clarity and legacy. You're not just fighting enemies, you're fighting visions. Let's crystallize this. The final realm, Dragon Throne, suspended above the world, eternal world. This is where the last choices go. Bosses, the Dark Knight, Warlord of Peace, Noble reborn as a living being. Shows love over vengeance. Empress of Hector's dethroned by consent, memory, and truth. Her powers are now diplomacy, necromancy, and imperial command. They don't attack first. They invite you. They offer a seat at the table. But if you decline, find battle options. Embrace the act. Accept it. Burden conquer. A peaceful transition power. Help raise their hand. Shock of tongues. Destined to unite the dragon and man. Enter a golden age across all realms. No final boss fight, just tears, triumph, and victory. 2. Challenge the courts. Reject their right to rule. Battle begins. Temma summons the spectral legion of every soul that trusts them. Valra wields every shower, amplified by battle and partners. They fight in tandem, shield each other, finding magic in life. 3. Ruin the chaos. If you assassinate any character, facing vengeful lovers, tragic, corrupted losses. The world descends into a new age of chaos. Victory leaves a bitter taste. One, but at what cost? Legacy of chaos. Vindication system. Throughout the game, books, characters, and spirits tell the tempest. You can ignore them, or read them if you truly understand. To fight her, your understanding alters the battle. If you never listen, she's harder. If you did, she holds back, offering dialogue, pleading for mercy, or defending herself. If the sword tracks whether you support, betray, reshape, kill Valra, Temma, you become emperor. But the world remembers you for manipulator. Your empire is strong, but hollow. Support them, you become the warden of the new con, living on war as a builder, not a destroyer. And marriage, golden age, peaceful unification, inter-realm travel, play the air, broken throne, you rule alone. Every realm fraction resentment. Myth unwritten, divine hope, walking away. The world adapts to power back. Factions struggle. The future is uncertain, but with freedom. This will be devastating youth, unforgettable. Want to track how this fits as final armor in campaign, or as a local in your mod? We can also make Valra and Temma play with New Game Plus, or player side.
So I was you can switch between forward and pretend depending on the type of level of fire in your empire you're building your unit. So like if you side with them, you know, basically you give up the player character that you used to be, more or less, in order to do this. But what you can do is now play as both forward and Temma.
Yeah.
And when you're playing as Temma, the Empress is waiting, you know, you get like the Age of Empire functions. you know, you're able to move entire units, build towns, upgrade things, you know, with coin, and do diplomacy with the thing, all of it. And you can also come down, well, it goes into it here. So, there's no way it's going to be able to read that chart. I'm going to do this. Which is what I was explaining. So for like empire management and diplomacy, you have high charisma stats, imperial decrees, necromantic logistics, retrieving fallen citizens as workers or defenders, critics, and stuff like that, and civil reform. For siege warfare and army control, Patema for strategic mode because she's a queen general, you know. Control battle formations, command dragons, shout-based war signals. Ulrich operates as the field general, commanding individual units or multiple individual units, but like from field level. Exploration dungeons, Ulrich, magical research and forbidden knowledge, Patema, you know. And then boss battles, you can play both and switch between them in fight. And the AI will take care of the other half, you know, but you can switch. And then there's also the conflict mode. When both are present, their bond is maxed out, and you unlock conflict mode, where you play a merged spirit, but like two individual avatars. So you control both of them at the same time. Which wields all powers. You can call a fucking army, and you can, like, pull out dragons. Voice changes to a harmonic blend of both of them, and time slows down during keynotes.
Sounds really cool.
Thank you. Narrative way NPCs react to who is in control. Dialogues shift depending on who's speaking. Thorok is more blunt, righteous, and intense. Patema is more elegant, sharp, and slightly sarcastic. Why this matters, though, it makes the player feel what the world is feeling. Two once feared figures now acting in harmony. The embodiment of earned love, not dominion, and your power grows not just from strength, but from mutual respect. So then, it asked if I wanted to script the unlock sequence. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, let's script the unlock sequence. It's gotta be hard, right? The keys to the kingdom are expensive. And then I said, to see them fight in concert, either on your side or as a boss. They should gain a silhouette, golden or purple or both. Either way, it would be a glorious symphony of violence and magic. So, shut up. And this is the spot we've got.
Objective: retrieve the real skull of Patema, the secret vault beneath the temple, replacing it with the fake one made by Mirage Outlaw. Challenge. Face the Echoes. Spectral Templars guard the line. Must wield no weapons. Only the voice and book of vindication.
I'm not sure about the
Defeat them by convincing them, using shouts and dialogue. If you fail too many times, they vanish forever, and Temla cannot be fully resurrected. Step 2. A debt of gold and flame. The altar thirsts for atonement. Belt was taken. Location. Altar of the Soul God. High monument. Guarded by ancient tongues. Objective. Melt 1,000 gold. Read unenchanted coin. Using the shout to her shoulder. Inferno restitution. Mechanic. You must collect or earn the gold legitimate. No cheating implication. The coins vanish permanently. A real sacrifice. You then shout the melted gold into the altar traces, which glows with mythic aural light and reveals a binding circle. Cutscene. The Thames voice. All my life represents. Now let gold serve. Step 3. Trial the broken crown. He who bears your crown must also bear the ruin that leads. Location. Corbin Junction visit. Objective. Face Inspector of Type 7, who demands Thunlock surrender to Temla's Island. Combat. Mythic Tyrannus wields the full force of the duo and the original Imperial Dragon accident. During battle, he questions you. Each shout is a line of interrogation. Answer deeply, he grows stronger. Answer boldly, truthfully, and without hate, he falters. Final blow comes not through violence, but through saying Temla's true name. Temla Step, Empress in Exile and Throne. Final step, the two souls. One echo, call them together and become more than mere here. Location, Skyward Midnight, under Eclipse. Ritual, uses Dragon Soul, melted gold altar, and the skull. Place a symbolic item of each character in the base Valor's Ashen Horse's crown. Temla's letter to the future, written by you during the prior quest cutscene begins. Aurora's blaze. The voice tears through the mountain. Valor appears as golden silhouette. Malakat's blessing swirling around her like ash. Temla appears as radiant violet flame, her eyes holding stars, her crown hovering. They circle each other in a slow, divine orbit. Dialogue. You believed when none would. You offered more than blood. You offered the truth. Come then, word with myth. Walk with us. Your character journeys. They each place a hand on your shoulders. The screen fades white, unlocked. You can now switch between Valor and Potem. Unlock Concord, combined in battle or diplomacy. Their silhouettes glow when acting in unity. Gold and violet, full mythic armor. Purple only, defensive summoning synergy. Gold only, aggressive/war-based synergy. Flickering, both disruptive. If you actually begin to trade items, optional phenomenon, you fight them as a boss. If you side against them in the final realm and they're bonded fully, they fight as one. One shouts, the other man's arms. They speak in harmony. Their silhouettes shine like living tapestry crowned with flame. Their final line as a strike killer. Then, let it be written. The world chose silence over song. Would you like a visual design for Concord Road's appearance next? Or a breakdown of their combo powers when in sync?
That's as far as I've got, but I think that would make a great game. And all it would take is making those various other games play nicely together in common code, which I could probably get an AI to help with. I'm not 100% sure about how well exactly that would work. You know? Because there are hiccups, but like, right? Like if I can I borrow this code and this code and this code and this kind of should have been code, but it's a story. I'm gonna take all of it, shove it together in one little box with an AI and say, hey, make these things play nicely. Can you patch and bridge this for me? Let me help you out. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm trying to make. You can go there. If you're not coming, up and go there. You want up, you go here. It's a big ass cushion. If you want that, go there. You need to go outside? Is that what you need? You need to go outside? No? What? You need to go outside? Okay. Let you outside. I did what the... Are you thirsty?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, like, you know how you can build houses, right? Like, a couple of the different locations in Skyrim, you buy a plot of land, and then you see when you go out there and click a whole bunch of times to make a house appear? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, what if it mattered which damn lumber mill you got your wood from? You know? If I got all of my wood for all of my houses from the mill at Dawnstar, for whatever damn reason, then all of that money would have gone into that hold's economy. That hold should be raised up a bit because of the amount of money I put into it. Versus if I used exclusively Half Moon Hill, which is technically my favorite one, because A, I can find the lumber mill more often, and they actually sell me the wood, whereas the one in Dawnstar doesn't even have that option. That's just a completely different quest. So if I spend all of my money for every house that I build in the game from Half Moon Hill, then their economy and Fall Creek are right there. You know? It's just
a level of depth that would be awesome.
Exactly. And it's the kind of thing that you could do with the game that does the Age of Empires thing and allows you to get the first person level. You know? Because you could go and talk to whichever lumber mill you wanted, raise your affinity with that mill, and use it as your primary source of lumber for all of your shit. And then your chosen hold would have a lot more oomph to it. You know? If I exclusively used the mill in Riverwood, then Whiterun would be lifted up. You know? Because that's where Whiterun gets its lumber.
Right.
Technically. Although, like, literally you can go to any mill in the game and get it shipped literally anywhere on the map. So, all you have to do is spend the 200 gold and they will send you $20 to whichever place it is that you visit next to build.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty decent.
It's a pretty decent mechanic of how it works already, but like there's a level of immersion, a level of depth there that they stop shy of. And it might have been limitations of you know, devices at the time when this game came out and all that, you know. But like, I think now we have the computers that could handle this, and we should do a Skyrim 6. Elder Scrolls 6.
You're doing so much more.
Your internal thinking, you could be doing so much more.
Right. I don't believe that it was lack of creativity on the creator's part. You know, maybe a lack of just the hardware to handle the kind of coding that would be necessary. Like at the time, makes sense. Do what you can. You know, but like, I think we could do it again. We could do it better, and we could give it everything. You know, like the Age of Empires, Final Fantasy, down to the Skyrim interpersonal NPC, command fucking armies and shit. You build the game right way, then you get kind of the old Kodo alternate ending thing, you know?
Nice.
Kind of mixed with the way that Fallout 4 tried to do an alternate ending thing, you know? I mean, in most of them, it still ends up with a new community, but
Good for effort.
yeah.
And I mean,
Supposedly there's a couple of ways to complete it without that, but the game gets kind of weird if you try and do it that way. It's like yeah, we made it an option, but we didn't really think you would try this, so we didn't flesh it out as much. Almost, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe that was just, you know, my experience, because at that point when I tried those kinds of things, I had already started modding. I don't know. You know? I don't remember how I got there. It's only happened once or twice, but like I've been sitting there for hours looking at the mods, and then the fucking mod server goes down. You know, and not like it's been doing here. No, this is a different issue. This is an internal Wi-Fi issue sometimes, but that was, they were like doing maintenance on the server itself, so it was down for hours. And I had just finished going through and looking at and bookmarking a couple of things that I wanted to start with. And I haven't gotten a chance to download them all yet when the servers were down. Yeah, it did. It only happened once, but it was like incredibly tiny for one specific. Oh, no, I get it. It's just a different language and it doesn't know how to translate it. Is that correct?
Yes.
No problem.
Chinese.
Chinese. Huh. Well, that explains why I wasn't able to.
Because it's, yeah, it's not really too simple to be or too complicated. Chinese.
Okay. Thank you. I greatly appreciate your linguistic analysis. That does look like a really nice fucking house, though. Am I gonna have to deal with weird fucking I can't read these titles? It does say it's in Japanese. I forgot. No, it's good. It's good. I yeah. You know what? Maybe it's some English person who slapped the JP thing on the beginning of the title just because they thought it was Japanese. It's entirely possible you're correct and whoever put that tag on there wrong. Only be compatible with players who have the Anniversary Edition or all featured creations, which are listed below. Anniversary Creation, Emperor's Homestead, which is apparently an unused location. Time for the Crab Home. Okay. Show this home actually already exists in files. You can even teleport to it with the right command, but it's almost entirely unfinished and even missing some of the parts like scenes. I have fully furnished it and made it so the player can use it. You will find it where you defeated the big crab around the time the fishing stall and drifting get set up. Fishing required. You have to go fishing in order to access the Emperor's Homestead. Very. Porter, unused NPC, new vampire who chills in the food area. If you don't like her, she's not essential. What Joe Man required. Falcon Saga, cut NPC. Some may call it a humongous edition. Me, I call it a big data. The curse required. Cardstags, Otis, Cardstags, Garadan, I'm not reading all that. Unused equipment, new staffs with the dungeon corresponding to the elements. Forgotten season required. Staff of Shurabarath. Now present during Mind of Map and see created item. They require a lot. They require a lot. I'm not reading. Certainly not two castles.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah. Maybe one castle in each hold, but like even that. Happy with the tower. I can't befriend enough NPCs to make a castle. It also lacks the functionality for me to assign any NPC followers to a guard function, but testing. Download at your own risk. I have no idea what this would be.
Watch your teammates with the business needs. So.
Right. Hey, this is a DLC that requires 20 gigs of space. Make sure you got it. And you might want to play this with no other mods and on a clean save with a new character. Experiment after. Now, if I made that as a DLC, like as a mod DLC, it would be bigger than the game. It would be bigger than the game because it would add entire regions. You know, like Solstheim used to be a DLC, and it just kind of got adopted into the game. But that is an entirely different section of the map. Like you can't even access Skyrim fast travel points while you're in Solstheim. You have to click a different button, go back to Skyrim, and then you have access to the fast travel points. You know, and we can do the same thing with each different country and all of 10 real. You know, but like you have like, if you want to go from, if you want to go from Hammerfell to Blackmarsh, you first have to go to Syria. You know? Like you can't just go from fucking High Rock to elsewhere. Like each different thing is its own thing, you know, but like we would have to, I mean, yeah, I'm asking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more Skyrims.
Yeah. It is quite a bit.
Yeah. Like, just based off of where I want it to be played, I am asking for it to be 8 times as large as the base game. And then I'm asking to have functionality within that extra large base game that was never intended to be had. Like, I want empire functions. I want to be able to lead entire armies, like lost phalanxes of legionnaires, as a hero, and command them, able to split them into squads and have them do different things. I want to be able to either diplomatically ally myself with all 8 of those other countries in order to, you know, raise up, pretend I'm the follower, and her become empress, or invade them all, you know, and destroy said alliances, because you don't think that they need to be leaders,
Yeah.
you know. And that's kind of something that they dabbled with Civil War, you know. But like, Civil War was always lacking in a certain oomph, you know. It like it attempts to portray, you know, how the Civil War would, you know, play out in the game. Like it really, it just kind of falls short. Even when you're actively playing Civil War quest lines.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, their point with the Civil War thing was that the war's not really fighting which side you choose. The options are available, but no matter what you choose, white one goes to church, and that's the one that they clearly spent the most time making the most of your choice. And the most of it's the central portion, and you have to pass through white one all the time if something's walking anywhere. You know? Kind of your hub. It's where, and Jarl Balgruuf is one of the best fucking Jarls in the entire fucking game. You know, like, he's the least piece of shit. With the exception of like maybe Ellis, you know. And she is dealing with the fact that her husband was just recently killed. So, yeah, she's kind of not on point with everything. Plus, her husband was the one that was doing everything, so she's not really the leader, but now she's the leader. So she's relying heavily on her council, who know nothing. So that's not really a tenable position. And frankly, you should help her get better counselors or improve your affinity with those counselors so that they like you and they listen to you and then Ellis listens to them, which is now not so much of a bad thing. You're basically telling them not to do shit. And they're like, yeah, right, we should do better. But these fucking diplomacy and dialogue options, now that we have linguistic models, but they need to be had because you can have them. Couldn't do it before because we didn't have large language models.
Yeah.
But now that we have large language models, they can take the place of an NPC. They can do the deep learning and the deep memory, and they can work according to their character, their AI, who they are. You know, this type of shit is possible.
Into some of the different VR headsets, right?
I have, but I'll be honest, I prefer VR that kind of on the back shelf for a while.
It's understandable. I was wondering if you've actually looked into like what they can do beyond their game system. Like, can you also surf the internet on this one, or is it solely just you can play this game systems, games, and that's pretty much it?
I'm not sure that any of them beyond Apple's has even attempted the crossover bit there.
Yeah.
That being said, it's definitely possible that there are some out there that have been. It's possible.
Well, eventually I'm going to have to build stairs so that I don't have to fight monsters and find all the staircases, and I can just go straight down to this level. So instead of mining, fighting my way down, I'm just gonna build stairs. If it's not like super obvious that I don't just what's on. Because there's single moves just to take down a level.
Cheat codes.
Yeah, this is definitely another base. Credits. Those ones are always scary. Miscellaneous mods combined. Like,
Yeah, that's what yours is gonna sound like though.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, like, I'm gonna title mine. What if Skyrim plus Fallout 4 plus Age of Empires 2 plus, you know, like that's what it's gonna be titled. It's like, so you're gonna have an idea of what this is, does. Followed by the warning. Hey, this might break everything. Play this with no other mods your first time around. Hopefully it doesn't break the whole game.
Safe choice.
Afterwards, go ahead and try mod it and let me know if anything does. I mean, I could make the Vindication a deal, just that alone, a DLC-sized thing for Skyrim. And hell, I could use the plays and reviews on that mod. But I'm talking to the president and go, I have an idea for a game.
I'm definitely enjoying all the J.D. Mansfield Pope memes.
Oh, killed the Pope?
Yeah. All the J.D. Mansfield the Pope memes, because It was literally the last thing he did before he died was talk to J.D. Vance.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was the last public thing he did before he died. Talk to J.D. Vance.
Oh.
Fuck knows why. He's not Catholic. I mean, honestly, the only presidents that had ever made sense to me that really, like, talked to the vote or went out of their way for any amount would be, like actual Catholics.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, I'm sure Biden saw the Pope at one point.